Hi everybody, I'm going to be making a sopa de coditos con carne molida. This is a macaroni and ground beef dish with vegetables. I remember coming home from school many times and my mom would have a pot of this dish on the stove and she'd have freshly made beans and homemade tortillas. So it brings back sweet memories. This is a delicious dish and I'm going to show you how I make it step by step. Let's get started. So I'm going to start out by grinding my spices. I like to grind the spices and then set it aside so they'll be ready to go. I've got whole cumin and peppercorn right here. So I'm going to grind these up really good. Now this is where it's at. I think that when you make a sopa and you use freshly ground spices, you're going to get that authentic flavor. See? So it's nice and ground. Now I'm going to put in my garlic. I've got 2 garlic cloves and they're big. So if you're going to use medium size, you'd probably want to use 3. Okay? Just going to cut them into small pieces and I'm going to grind them up. It smells absolutely delicious right here. And this is going to make this dish so good. So I've got this done. See? I'm going to add 1 cup of water in here. And I'm just going to bring it in together like this. Make sure that it comes off the walls. Oh, it smells so good. See? Now I'm just going to set it aside and get started on my next step. So I'm going to be using this Mexican olla to toast my macaroni. I've got 1.5 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And I'm going to add my macaroni in here. See? So I'm going to be moving it around because you don't want it to burn. I just want it to get a real nice golden brown. You toast your pasta, you'll get less of the starch. It just won't be so doughy. See? So I'm going to be moving it around like this constantly until it gets to a beautiful golden brown. Now as you can see, my macaroni is nice and golden. See? So I'm going to remove it out of this olla. That I have removed my macaroni, I'm going to add my ground beef. I have 1 pound of 80-20 ground chuck. I always use 80-20 ground beef because I just think it's very tender. But you can use the lean ground beef if you like. I just think that the lean one gets really dry on you. And this can really take the heat. That's why I like the 80-20. So I'm just going to break it up, move it around, just until it loses its pink color. See? Just like this. So I have removed all the grease. See? And now my meat has lost all its pink color. I'm going to add my onions. Now remember that the onions always go in by themselves. See? Because they'll saute really well like this. If you add anything else in with it, they'll release a lot of liquid. And I don't want that. See? So I'm just going to move them around like this for about 1.5 minutes until they get just slightly translucent. So it's been about 1.5 minutes and my onions have released their flavor. See? And they're slightly translucent. Now I'm going to add my carrots. And I'm going to add my sweet corn. This is fresh corn right off the cob. See? And I'm going to move it around for about 1 minute. Let them release their flavor. So it's been about 1.5 minutes to 2. See? Now I'm going to add my tomatoes. Now you can put your tomatoes through the blender if you want, but I like the texture. So that's why I like to put in diced tomatoes. And I've got my tomato paste right here. This tomato paste is going to balance everything out and give it delicious flavor. So I'm going to break it up. Now I'm going to add my spices from my molcajete. See? Now I'm gonna add my salt. You can add as much as you want. Now I'm gonna add my water. I've got 5 cups of very hot water in this tea kettle, and I'm gonna put them in here. It's been about 7 minutes. See, it's at a really low boil. Now you never wanna rush anything. You wanna give it time for all those flavors to come in together real nice. See, that's about as high as I like to have it. Now I'm gonna add my macaroni. I'm also gonna add my zucchini. And my cilantro. I have a small bunch, and I just gave it a coarse chop like that. And I'm gonna move it around. See, it's starting to look beautiful. Oh man. I added another teaspoon of salt. So this would be a good time for you to taste it and adjust the salt to the way you like it. I'm gonna replace my lid, and I'm gonna let it cook like that for about 15 minutes. So it's been about 15 minutes. Let's take a look. Oh, look at that. I'm gonna turn off the heat. See? Now you wanna make sure that your macaroni is cooked really well. It's usually about 15 minutes for me, but depending on what pot you're using, you wanna keep an eye on it. So now we're ready to serve. Oh, look at this. See? One thing my mom never did was add cheese, but I love some cheese on here. See? And then it gets real nice and cheesy. I always like to put some beans right on the side. See, just like this. And I have some freshly made corn tortillas. Now you can serve it with flour tortillas or corn tortillas, whatever you like. See, they're nice and soft. I'm gonna put a little bit of butter, just like my mom used to make for us. See, just a little bit of butter like this. Just a pinch of salt. Then we roll it up. And you can mix it in together like this. It's time for the taste test. Absolutely delicious. The combination of the beans with a sopa and the cheese and the corn tortilla with butter. It's so good. So this is my coditos with carne molida. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up, send me a comment and tell me what you think. Thank you.